Well, hi everybody, it's Georgia Lane from Women of Influence, and today I have Stacy Miller. She is our long-term friend and wonderful supporting partner from Cronin Miller Litigation. Hey Stacy, how are you today?
Good morning, Georgia. I'm very well today. Thank you.
Now, Stacy she's been one of our speakers. She's been a long-time supporter and she's a great friend of mine. So it's really nice to be able to catch up. We were just talking before about how busy our lives are. And Stacy and I actually live in the same street and I haven't seen her for so long. Isn't that terrible?
It's crazy. But mind you, it was like that pre-COVID-19 as well. It's just you get so busy with your day-to-day and you drive into that driveway and the garage door comes down and yeah.
Exactly, I know. Hopefully we can learn something and create a little bit of extra time for ourselves and our friendship.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, Stacy, for those people who don't know you, I'm sure most people know your face, but for those who don't, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and about what you do?
Okay, well, I'm a lawyer and a mum, business owner here on the Gold Coast. We have a law firm, Cronin Miller Litigation, and we specialise in, I like to say we specialise in dispute resolution. It's commercial litigation and insolvency. So a very specialist area of practice and a really busy area of practice at the moment with all the pressures on businesses, particularly here in Southeast Queensland as well. And I have a team of 15 employees in our Surfers Paradise office, and my business partner is Derek Cronin, who I know a lot of people know and love as well.
We certainly do know and love Derek Cronin.
So lots of talented people in our firm.
You do have lots of talented people. And so what would be a typical day if there is such a thing?
Now or during COVID-19, there is no typical day at the moment, is it? But I think about what it was like even 2 months ago, and every day was different as new things were getting thrown at us. For me, a typical day, and I think a lot of parents can relate to this, I feel like I've run a marathon before I even get to work because I've done, wake ups, breakfast, school run, the cat might have diarrhea. I've got a 3-year-old that gets thrown into the mix. So that's my mum morning, which feels like a whole day. And then I get to the office of interacting with clients, juggling new inquiries, catch-ups with the team, catch-ups with my network, court appearances. Actually, court appearances have been interesting lately because they're via video link or telephone. Which has been great because I get a little bit of time back. I'm not on the M1 commuting to Brisbane to go do that physical appearance. So that's been a bit of a silver lining, I think, the way the courts have adapted. It's given us a little bit of time back that we otherwise would have lost.
That's definitely a bonus. And do you think they'll continue that when we're back to normal?
I think they will need to. I think what it has done is opened up the possibilities, especially for remoter regions that don't have access to, that physical courtroom of the higher jurisdiction courts. You don't have Supreme Courts, out in remote Queensland, and to be able to video link in or telephone link for those regional practitioners, it's going to make a huge difference. But some courts were prepared for that and some weren't. So they've had to really quickly adapt and invest in their technological systems and make sure all that was running smoothly. So it's funny how, and we mentioned this before, when you're forced to do things to react to a situation which otherwise might not have occurred for another decade, maybe had to drag a Supreme Court jurisdiction or federal, whatever it may be, into 2020 and go, right, this is the new way of doing things and we have to do it this way. Yeah. And why wouldn't we keep doing it that way if it means the legal system is more accessible to a greater number of people? Yeah, so that's been a bit of a silver lining, I think.
That's good.
In our profession.
Having all that extra time, I've noticed you've been a lot more proactive online with your marketing. It's been great. All of the stuff that you've been putting out has been really, really good. So well done.
Thank you.
How do you find the time to do it?
I don't know about that. I don't know the answer to finding the time. It's just because I've never been so busy before. It's been so crazy. And I've been a little bit envious of those people that I've spoken to that have, picked up new hobbies or binging Netflix. And I'm like, what, when are you doing, when are you doing this? But I'm grateful for that. Obviously, I'm very grateful that work has been busy, but I've sort of found this new sense of purpose, which is that in my professional space, I want to use the information that, it comes to me readily, and I understand it, and I take for granted that it's not so readily accessible by other people. And one of the things that's really surprised me and has been so wonderful to see is how people have really stepped up in response to the pandemic. I mean, your health workers, your schools and your teachers and your pollies, they're all stepping up, and that's great. But I had to sort of think, well, what can I do to contribute, and what have I got to add value to, the public or the community that might not otherwise have this readily accessible resource available to them. And there's been a few people in my network across different industries who, the collaboration has just been amazing. And I think everybody's been driven by that desire to want to help out, businesses that are struggling, tenants, whether it's your local gym or your local cafe or that boutique on Chevron Island. So make sure that they have that information that they otherwise wouldn't know where to look to get. Because we're being bombarded. We're being bombarded with information, and it was changing on a daily basis. You'd have something announced by the federal government, and it was taking me a lot to start, okay, what does this mean for my clients or for these people in my network? Imagine being a layperson going, okay, what do I need to know? And not everybody has a lawyer on speed dial or that trusted professional accountant relationship that they can, turn to and say, how do I apply this to my business, or what do I do with my employees? It's been nice to see industry professionals step up and get that information out there, disseminate that information, not just for their clients, but for everybody, and get it out there in new ways. So that's been really nice to see.
I saw it from the beginning, worked with you for Conversations to Connect, which was, yours and Leishan's and the ladies from Purple Playground's brainchild. And it really is fantastic. When we first started looking at that, there was so much information coming out, and it was just all so confusing. And now you guys have really come full circle with Conversations to Connect, and the information that's coming out it looks beautiful, it's interesting, and it's giving people something to read and understand and do something with. So well done.
And I want to keep carrying that forward, and it's been well set up, and thank you for your involvement. It's been amazing, and it's something that we can now carry through, because one of the things that I'm taking away from the last few months is I can do things a little bit differently, and I can give myself a bit of a greater sense of purpose about carrying that through, not just in response to a pandemic. It's going to be a challenge for a long time. There's going to be challenges across multiple industries, again, especially here on the Gold Coast, with that border closure and just the prolonged angst and financial distress for businesses here. We're going to see the effects of that for quite some time. So I hope that people in our industries, and your lawyers and your accountants, your bankers, stay motivated to keep giving back, so that we can all sort of try and prop each other up a little bit.
That's so true. And it's great to, once you understand what it is that you can give to others in that way, which is exactly, unraveling all this legal information, the legislation changes and how businesses are affected is what you do. And it's amazing that you've found a way to just share it freely so that people can benefit from it.
Why not? Why not? I love doing it, and I've realized I love doing it. So I've always loved what I do. Again, it's taken something to go, wait a minute, I can spread this a little bit further. Like, I'm not inhibited in any way from doing that. No, I don't need to. So it's been a nice, refreshing change to my outlook, not in any conscious way. It's just, it's been nice.
So for those of you who may not know what we're talking about with Conversations to Connect, it's a group of ladies who have got together, colleagues. So there's, of course, Stacy from Cronin Miller, and then there's Leishan and Teresa from Element Business Solutions, and then there's Maria and Sally from Purple Playground, which are outsourced HR. And they came to me to say, can I help them with the branding and marketing, which I was happy to do. And it was a fantastic project, and it looks really, really good now. And they're just generously sharing their knowledge with their business community. So check that out. And then on top of that, and all the other things that Stacy does, she's also been putting out some fantastic material on Cronin Miller's website and social channels. So yeah, well done. So if you haven't seen all that, guys, check it out.
Yeah, please do head over. We've also identified a bit of a gap between the lawyers and the accountants and the HR, and we've brought Carolee Fontanelli from Collective Family Law Group on board as well, because she's producing great content around nutrition and mindfulness and well-being. So I feel like we've really covered across a lot of needs that people are really needing fulfilled at the moment.
Yes,
and it's been a great little project, I suppose, that, as I said, I want to keep going with.
Well done, Stace. Now, I think we're probably out of time. Is there anything that you wanted to add? Is anything you're looking forward to when, things are now getting back to normal a little bit? Is there something you're looking forward to in the future?
I love that we're getting back to normal, but I'm really going to try and stay focused on taking away some of these new things, new revelations that I've had over the past few months. I was always striving for balance between work and family, and I've realized that balance is not splitting your time equally. It's actually about giving 100% to work when you're at work and 100% to family when you're with family. And I've got some renewed energy around all that. I loved being in lockdown with my girls. Even when we were doing online learning, which probably lasted about 4 days before I removed any expectation about that. But it's, I think we'll look back on this time and go, wow, remember in 2020, it was a, storm, but didn't we all take away from that a new way of doing things?
Well, lovely to chat with you.
Thanks so much, Georgia. It's always great to catch up.
Yes.
See you in person next time.